Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel Collab Learners. Today's topic is Introduction of Computer. So we'll be covering up these subtopics. First is what is computer, what is data and information, and basic functions of computer, that's input, processing and output and storage. So let's jump into each topic. So let's start what is a computer. So let's have a basic history of computer so that we can come to the point how the definition of computer was derived. So in year 1640, the term computer was initially referred as one who calculates. Basically, the term computer derived from a Latin word called compute, which means to calculate. Later, this calculation went on, and later in year 1897, it started to be called as a calculating machine. And time evolved, and 1945, it was introduced as a programmable digital electronic computer, which is now called as a computer. So based on this history, we come to the definition of computer. So a computer is an electronic device designed to take inputs, perform precisely arithmetical and logical operations at a faster speed and provides us output based on these operations. इसका मतलब यहाँ पे ये है कि कंप्यूटर एक डिवाइस है जो कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक है, वो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इनपुट से चलता है. दूसरा, वो इनपुट लेता है यूजर से जो कि कोई डेटा होता है और उस पे वो अर्थमेटिकल यानी मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करता है और लॉजिकल ऑपरेशंस यानी सही गलत वो फैसला करता है उस चीज का based on the operation at a faster speed, and it provides you an output based on those operations. So before jumping deep into the definitions of computer, let's look at some of the terminology which are being used, that is data and information. Data can be defined as a representation of facts, concepts or instructions in a formalized manner which can be used for suitable communication or interpretation, which can be processed by human or electronic machines. इसका मतलब ये है कि डेटा कोई भी फैक्ट हो सकता है, कोई भी जानकारी हो सकती है या कोई भी काम करने का तरीका बताया जा सकता है जिसके माध्यम से हम लोग कुछ मीनिंग निकाल सके, जो कि ह्यूमन निकाल सकता है या फिर मशीन को समझ आए कि क्या करना है उस चीज के साथ में. दैट इज कॉल्ड डेटा. आगे देखते हैं व्हाट इज इंफॉर्मेशन. इंफॉर्मेशन इज एन ऑर्गेनाइज्ड और क्लासिफाइड डेटा विच हैज सम मीनिंगफुल वैल्यूज टू द रिसीवर. इसका मतलब ये है कि इंफॉर्मेशन वो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड डेटा है जिसे हमें सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से अरेंज किया हुआ डेटा है जो कि मीनिंग कन्वे करता है. ठीक है, तो अब हम इनके एग्जैक्ट डिफरेंसेस देख लेंगे. सो फर्स्ट थिंग, when we talk about data, the collection of raw facts and figures is called data, that is input which computer gives, whereas information is a processed data which is called information or output. Data is input for the computer, whereas information is output for the computer. Data is independent, whereas information is dependent on data, because without data you can't jump into the information. Okay, data is lost, it cannot be reproduced, whereas if information is lost, it can be reproduced from the data, because after processing that particular data we got the information, so it can be reproduced. Data is meaningless and valueless, whereas information is meaningful and valuable. That means डेटा रॉ फॉर्म में रहता है जिसका कुछ खास मीनिंग कन्वे नहीं होता है, जबकि इंफॉर्मेशन का मीनिंग हम लोग कैलकुलेट करके समझ के निकालते हैं, वो आउटपुट के तौर पर रहता है जिससे लोग समझ सकते हैं. ओके, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. बेसिक फंक्शंस ऑफ कंप्यूटर. So basically there are four basic functions of computer. One is input, second is processing, third is output and last is storage. So अब इस चीज को हम लोग डायग्रामेटिकली ज्यादा अच्छे से समझते हैं. इनपुट जो हम लोग कंप्यूटर के अंदर डालते हैं यानी डेटा, और उस पे आपका ऑपरेशंस परफॉर्म होता है यूजिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर सीपीयू यानी सेंट्रल प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट, यानी प्रोसेसिंग होता है इस पे. एंड मूविंग ऑन वी गेट द आउटपुट दैट इज शोन टू अस, दैट्स गिवन टू द एंड यूजर. बट वी हैव सिचुएशंस, यानी ऐसा होता है बहुत बारी कि हमें वो आउटपुट जो निकला रिजल्ट वो बार बार यूज करना पड़ता है. तो इस केस में रोल प्ले आता है स्टोरेज का यानी मेमोरी का. सो दिस मेमोरी इज बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर स्टोरेज ऑफ डेटा so that we can use it for future references. So the first basic function is input. The data is entered into the computer with the help of input devices like other electronic devices. A computer takes that data into a raw form, that is binary form, and the user So let's look at the first basic functionality of computer, that is input. The data is entered into the computer with the help of input devices. Like other electronic devices, a computer takes input in a raw binary format. The user can enter data in several other formats like letters, numbers, images, etc. The input device converts those data into the binary format so that computer can read those data. We have different set of input devices like keyboard, mouse, joystick, scanner, light, etc. So इसमें बोलने का मतलब ये है कि जनरली कंप्यूटर या अदर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइस सिर्फ बाइनरी फॉर्मेट में काम करता है, यानी जीरोज एंड वंस में. जो इनपुट डिवाइसेस है वो इनपुट डिवाइस हमारा रीडेबल फॉर्मेट यानी लेटर्स, नंबर्स एंड इमेजेस को कन्वर्ट करके कंप्यूटर को अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर्मेट यानी जीरोज एंड वंस बाइनरी फॉर्मेट में समझाता है. So let's look at the second basic functionality of computer, that is processing. Processing is the core functionality of computer system. It is internally processed with data. It is the internal process of It is the internal process of data is processed according to the instruction given to the computer. The data is executed sequentially and it is sent for the further processing. The speed of the processing can vary from computer to computer. It is basically dependent on the factors like motherboard, CPU and RAM of the computer. इसमें हम लोग ये बोलना चाह रहे हैं कि कंप्यूटर का जो प्रोसेसिंग पावर होता है वो डायरेक्टली रिलेवेंट होता है मदरबोर्ड, CPU और रैम वगैरह पे. फॉर एग्जांपल आपका आजकल का जनरेशन का कंप्यूटर दैट इज हैविंग मच मोर बेटर कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस आर मच मोर फास्टर देन द ओल्डर वर्जन ऑफ कंप्यूटर्स. So let's look into the third basic functionality of the computer, that is output. The output is the information provided by the computers after the entire processing. It is also known as the result that can be stored in a storage device for future references. The output devices retrieve these processed data from computer and convert into a human readable form. So as we already know, the data is stored in binary formats. So these binary format data are fetched by the output devices and converted into human readable or understandable outputs. For example, output devices we have monitor where we can visually see the output. Then we have printer where we can get the hard copy, the printed format of the particular output. Then we have projectors and we have speakers. So इसमें जो conversion होता है आपका computer readable format से human readable format में, that is done by output devices. To the fourth and the final basic functionality of the computer, storage. Storage is a critical part of the computer system. It is used to store data, instructions before and after of the processing. So basically we have two kinds of storage in a computer system. One is primary storage and other one is secondary storage. Primary storage. Primary storage devices store the input data and immediately calculates the result. The data is stored in primary data is temporary and will be lost if the power is disconnected. The example of primary storage is random access memory, that is RAM. So as you have seen, we have different RAMs over here, which is used for primary storage. Then we move on to the permanent storage, that is the secondary storage. Secondary storage is used for storing data permanently for future references. The data is in the secondary storage devices are secure and even works in no power. For example, we have hard disks and other secondary storage devices. So we have reached to the end of this small discussion what we had on computers. If you like the video, kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more videos like this.